Welcome to Discover Career Planning Resources for PhD Psychology Programs with Walden's Department of Career Planning and Development. We thank you again for joining us. Before I hand it over to our wonderful presenters, I want to review some instructions for navigating and participating in this session. Let me just get you up there. So you'll have the opportunity to use the chat for today's session, as well as the Q&A. We will have some polls for you, so feel free to engage in those polls. We definitely want your feedback for those. If you click that handout section, you'll see a PDF of today's slides, as well as links and resources that we will go over with you. I'll now turn it over to Dr. John Agnew.
Thank you very much, Kayla. We always enjoy working with you because you make our lives so much easier with these presentations. Tonight, we are very excited to welcome Denise Prenke from the Career Planning and Development Office. Denise is a career specialist, and she is going to be sharing with us the various career planning resources Walden has to offer.
And hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Agnew. I'm so happy to be here. I'm very excited about the resources that I'm going to be sharing with you. So we have a number of resources on our career planning and development website. And the majority of these resources that are specific to PhD in psychology were developed in partnership with the PhD in psychology leaders and faculty, including Dr. Sickle and Dr. Agnew. So really appreciate their collaboration. But before we delve into our topic, let's briefly go over some general information about career planning and development. For those of you who are new to our department, I would like to start by sharing who we are and what we do. We're part of Walden's Office of Student Affairs, and our department's mission is to support both students and alumni in developing workplace skills to thrive as professionals in social and as social change agents in organizations and in communities. This slide shows the Career Planning and Development's homepage, where you'll find a variety of resources, including a button to schedule a one-on-one career advising appointment. You'll find links to our social media offerings, where we post career-related information and upcoming events. And across the top of the homepage, you'll find tabs with career exploration resources, including the Psychology Career Hub. Also, the Resumes and More tab is there with resources that include information on developing a curriculum vitae or CV. You'll want to use a CV when applying for higher ed teaching and leadership positions and research positions as well. And there are also tabs with networking and interviewing resources as well. And before we go on, I want to add that you'll need to log in to gain access to the website. This is something new that just happened a couple weeks ago. So if you're a Walden graduate who no longer has access to your Walden credentials, just please contact support@mail.waldenu, as shown there on the slide, to reactivate your account to access the Career Planning and Development website. And before we move on, we'd like to know how familiar you are with the career planning and development services and offerings. So Kayla is going to launch a poll. So Kayla, I'm going to turn it over to you to launch the poll.
All righty. As you all are entering that poll, the options that we have for you are that I'm not familiar, or maybe I have visited the website once or twice, and lastly, I frequently use the services and offerings. And again, there are no wrong answers. We just want to know where you guys are as far as utilizing those wonderful services and offerings. I'm going to give you just a little bit more. I still see the responses coming in. I want to give everyone a chance to go ahead and enter those. Oh, we're still getting entries. This is great. This is great.
Nice.
We love this. All righty. I'll go ahead and close the poll for us. And it looks like the majority of you are not familiar, followed by you visited the website once or twice. And we do have a few of you who have frequently used the services and offerings. Hopefully we can increase those numbers today.
Yes, absolutely. So I definitely think this session, it will offer resources for all of you, whether you have never visited this site or you've been there a few times, or you really have explored it extensively. So hopefully we're going to cover some valuable resources for you. So next, let's move on to the goals for the session. So one of our goals is to introduce you to the Psychology Career Hub with resources, tools, and special offerings to help you prepare for a variety of careers in psychology. And we're going to share tools to help you communicate your academic and professional skills to employers and others. And we'll also explore doctoral level career paths and how they may intersect with the PhD and psychology specializations. We're going to talk about strategies to gain experience along with building connections and expanding your professional network, and also how to prepare for interviews. And we're going to touch a bit on using AI tools. And finally, we're going to set aside some time near the end for your questions as well. So as we move through the program, please note that the resource list in the handouts has just multiple links to resources that we're going to be covering here. So it's in your big marker webinar handouts area. So next, let's start by reviewing resources on the Psychology Career Hub. And if you haven't visited the Psychology Career Hub yet, there is a lot there for you to explore. And you can access the hub either on that resource list or from the Career Planning and Development website under Career Exploration. And then there's a big blue button that says Career Hub. So either way, but we have it for your convenience right on that resource list. So the hub is a one-stop toolbox for psychology careers, and it was developed in collaboration with your PhD in psychology program leadership and faculty. It has specialized resources to help you prepare for doctoral level careers, along with job search tools, resume, CV, and cover letter writing tips as well. The hub also has a specialized career checklist that was designed specifically for students who are in psychology programs that are non-licensure and non-clinical at the doctoral level. Use this checklist as a blueprint to follow as you prepare to advance your career. There's also a great list of articles on hot topics that point out strategies and skills that are in demand. So next, let's take a closer look at the 7 steps that are outlined in the PhD in Psychology Career Checklist. And there is a link to that checklist also in your, resource handout. So as doctoral students, I know that many of you you're so busy working on your academic projects, you're completing course assignments, you're engaging in classroom discussions, and you're moving through your academic program requirements. But as part of your learning journey, we also want you to consider engaging proactively in your career development. This is important whether you are planning to use your degree to make a career transition, you're maybe seeking career advancement opportunities, or you want to have an impact in your current position or in your community. You want to take some time to really think about your career plan. So no matter what your goal is, these 7 steps will help you get there. So the first step is to identify your career knowledge and skills. Step 2, explore career options that match your interest. And then step 3, research organizations and explore job opportunities. And then 4 is gain experience. You might find that, you want to do something, but maybe there's a missing piece in terms of your experience. So how can you gain some of that experience to better fit with where you want to go professionally? And then develop your resume and CV and other application materials to communicate your unique professional brand and value. And it's important for all doctoral students, you want to have a resume and a curriculum vitae or CV as well. The CV focuses a bit more on your academic accomplishments. And then step 6, you want to build a strong professional network. And then finally, prepare for interviews. So next, let's go over the first step. So identify your knowledge and skills. So the purpose of identifying your knowledge and skills is to help you better understand and communicate the unique value that you bring. So when considering your skills and knowledge areas, think of these 3 general categories: your professional skills, gained through work or volunteer experience, such as working with diverse clients, delivering presentations or workshops, training, writing reports, meeting deadlines, managing projects, communications, collaborations, workplace technology skills, such as Microsoft Office. And then the second category listed here is academic knowledge areas, which include your psychology specific knowledge, such as knowledge of recent scholarly research, advanced research methods, applying theoretical models to understand problems and potential solutions. Your academic knowledge areas may vary depending on your specialization and dissertation topic as well. For example, someone in the teaching and psychology specialization will have knowledge in instructional design. Someone in the research and psychology specialization will have knowledge on program evaluation. And then the third category is academic skills, which includes navigating online learning platforms. You're really expert at that. Using statistical processing software such as SPSS, delivering presentations, critical thinking, writing, communication, and organizational skills. So as a doctoral student, some skills and knowledge will likely fall into more than one of these categories, such as analyzing data, writing, and communications. They definitely fall in more than one. Some skills are very specific, such as SPSS, and some skills are more what we often call durable skills, such as collaboration, communications, writing, presentation skills. These are just a few examples to get you started. There are many more. I'd like to ask the audience, can you think of any additional skills that you're gaining in your PhD in psychology program that you may want to include on your list? So take a minute and use the chat and share. Can you think of anything else? I just touched on a handful of ideas for you here, but can you think of anything else? And Kayla, do we have any responses coming in?
Not yet, but we want to give you guys a couple of moments just to think and type those in. Remember, there are no wrong answers. We're here. Okay, I see a few: interdisciplinary collaboration. Awesome.
That's great.
And we'll give you guys time to think of those. And even if we're all done with this portion, you can still enter those in because I'm sure they'll be helpful for everyone else.
Right. Yeah, you want to think about this because you want to, part of as you're thinking about this, your career planning is these, what are your skills? What are you getting from your PhD in psychology program? Because when you go out and start looking for opportunities, you want to be able to articulate those skills and describe them for potential employers or clients if you go into consulting.
And I see some statistics. Great one. That one
Mhm.
is listed.
Definitely. You are gaining so many skills in terms of, statistics, the research methodologies, but also looking at the research that's out there and understanding that research, being
Oh,
able to
wow.
interpret it.
I'm seeing some more emerging disciplines such as health psychology with focus on
Mhm.
behavioral neuroscience, therapeutic skills, developing critical thinking skills. These are great. Cultural diversification. These are awesome.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. Those are great ideas. And as Kayla said, if you think of others as we're going, just put those in the chat and share those because it's kind of, it's fun to see what you're thinking of. So next, let's take a look at a tool to help you track all of your knowledge and skills. So on the next slide, as you move through your Walden program, we recommend using this inventory of professional and academic skills, a worksheet that's provided in the resource list in the webinar handouts, to keep a record of your skills and knowledge and update the list as you progress through your program and beyond. Kind of keep thinking about this. We're just hopefully sparking some thoughts here and that you'll continue to think about this. And then be prepared to share your knowledge and skills with others, as I mentioned. Definitely when professional opportunities arise, you're in a networking situation, talk about what you're doing, what you're learning. It may also be helpful to review the curriculum for your specialization on the waldenu.edu website as well. And if anyone is joining us in the audience who's in a program other than the PhD in psychology, but you decided to join because you're interested in the topic, all of the Walden programs are listed on the waldenu.edu website. So you can take a look at what is listed there. Next, I'd like to introduce the second career preparation step, which is to explore career options. So there are many career exploration tools out there to research general career options in a multitude of fields. You may already be familiar with some of them. For instance, ONET Online and Career One Stop are career research tools that pull information from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And there are many others as well. However, most career exploration sites do not specifically focus on career paths at the doctoral level. So for this purpose, career planning and development, together with university leaders, created career exploration resources around 6 common doctoral career paths that many Walden students and alumni pursue. So as shown here, they include research and data analysis, higher education, consulting, leadership, policy and advocacy, and writing and editing. There are other career paths as well, but many Walden doctoral students and graduates pursue at least one or even several of these pathways. These 6 pathways intersect with the PhD in psychology specializations that are shown on the right side of the slide. So for example, someone in the educational psychology specialization may be interested in conducting research for K through 12 educational organizations, and they may also be interested in teaching in higher ed. Someone in the health psychology specialization may be involved in policy and advocacy work and also be a leader in a nonprofit organization. If you'd like to learn more about opportunities in each of these doctoral pathways or the PhD psychology specializations and how they may relate to one another, we have a multitude of resources that can help you get started. So next, let's take a look at some of those resources. So Career Planning and Development offers 4 doctoral career pathways conference sessions. And these are recorded so you can watch them at your convenience. And there is also a detailed career pathways guide that accompanies these recordings. And the guide includes job search terms, key job search sites, career success strategies, and professional networking tips for each one of the pathways. And I'll add that sometimes when you're looking at those job search terms that you want to search for, you have to get a little creative, because sometimes job titles, they morph, they change. Some organizations get pretty creative with them, so so sometimes you have to do a little bit of exploring. Um, and also the PhD in Psychology Career Checklist, which is in your resource handout, also includes links to articles with career advice and external sites and resources for doctoral level careers. We highlighted a couple of those external sites on this slide: Imagine PhD and Cheeky Scientist. Imagine PhD is an excellent site for doctoral level career exploration. It's one of my favorites. I encourage you to visit imaginephd.com, create an account, and then they have tools for self-assessment, career planning, career and job opportunities. And this site is really designed for doctoral level career planning, and it focuses a lot on the social and behavioral sciences as well. So that's great. And other great places to explore career options are professional associations, such as the American Psychological Association, or APA, which has 56 divisions by specialization and interest areas that you can explore. A few examples of divisions that some of you may be interested in are the Society for the Teaching of Psychology, or the Society for Health Psychology, just to name two out of the 56. So check those out. And also, as a doctoral student in psychology, you may want to consider getting involved in the American Psychological Association of Graduate Students, or APAGS. There are a lot of leadership opportunities within that organization. And there's also the Association for Psychological Science, or APS. Professional associations offer opportunities to take on leadership roles, network, and you can gain access to their career resources as well. Most professional associations have a list of career resources. And there are other associations beyond what we've listed here. So take some time to explore Career One Stop, and there's a list to Career One Stop on your resource handout. Has a professional association finder that you can use. So you could just go into that professional association finder and put in psychology, and it will come up with a list of professional associations for you. So next, let's look at using AI tools to help you explore options. So there are a number of AI platforms that you can choose from. ChatGPT by OpenAI, Copilot by Microsoft, Gemini by Google are some of the most popular platforms to explore. But next, Kayla's going to launch a quick poll. We want to get an idea whether you've used AI tools for career exploration. So Kayla, I'm going to turn it over to you for the poll.
All righty. Our poll is nice and sweet. Have you used any AI tools for career exploration? Yes, no, or maybe you're not sure. With AI, sometimes you can never be sure. Awesome. We're seeing those come in. I feel like I have an idea of where it may go, but it looks like I'm going to be surprised. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. It looks like most of you have not.
Oh.
So up first is no, second up is yes, and then we have those of you who are not sure.
Okay. Well, thank you all for participating in the poll. So, definitely use AI for career exploration. We have a few examples of prompts on this slide that you can use. For example, what are 10 career options for someone with a doctoral degree in psychology, non-licensure? What are the top 10 organizations near? And you can just put in your zip code or your city, state, or your region that hire people with a doctoral degree in psychology. non-licensure. What are important skills for someone with a doctoral degree in psychology to list on their CV for a search in for higher ed teaching? And this is just a bare bones sampling of what you can think of. And then these prompts are really broad. You can definitely drill down with much more detailed questions. Sometimes when you put in one prompt, AI comes back and gives you ideas for additional prompts, so really play around with it. It is a fun tool. It's very fast. Try it out. And you might be surprised by the extensive information that's provided. But let's go on. And the next step in the checklist is to research organizations. So many of you are familiar with general job boards such as Indeed.com, Career Builder, ZipRecruiter, there are so many others. But the challenge with using these sites is that they typically receive hundreds of applicants for positions, and they may not yield the best search results, especially for doctoral level careers. It's okay to use those sites, but don't use them exclusively. Have other strategies as well. So instead, we recommend taking a more proactive approach by researching the types of organizations you may like to work for and the types of positions they have that may utilize your doctoral level skills. So organizations hiring PhD in psychology students and graduates from non-licensure and non-clinical programs include social and human service agencies, government agencies, healthcare organizations, corporations, community or nonprofit agencies, and of course, colleges and universities and research organizations. Consider which settings you're most interested in, and then research those organizations that may have a need for your skills and knowledge. We recommend making a list of maybe the top 10 to 20 organizations that you feel are a good fit for you. And then bookmarking their job opportunities pages or set up job alerts if they have that feature. And even if you're not actively looking for a job right now, researching organizations can also help you learn more about the types of positions that are available, so you can prepare for the future. And remember that knowledge is power in the job search. So proactively identifying organizations puts you in control of your job search and your career management. So next, we're going to share a few job search resources to use when researching jobs and employers. So Career Planning and Development manages two custom job search systems. Our first system is the Walden Job and Internship Locator. It's a powerful job board that allows employers to post jobs and other opportunities specifically for Walden students and graduates. It's really fun to see some Walden graduates who have gone on to organizations. They turn around and they post jobs for other Walden students and grads. So it's really fun when we see that happening. If you're looking for a new job, you're considering a career change or researching job requirements for your field, the job board, it's an excellent tool. You can also search for jobs and other experiential opportunities, create a profile, update your resume, or upload it to the system as well. And you can set job alerts in the system for the types of positions that you're applying for. And our second job search system is called Going Global, which is a leading career and employment resource for global job searches. Some of our students and graduates live and work outside of the US, so this system is really designed to meet the needs of Walden's global community. They have job postings both within the US and also globally, and they even have listings of remote positions as well. So in addition to those two custom systems, we also provide lists of popular job boards and job search sites such as Indeed, LinkedIn Jobs, Google for Jobs, Glassdoor, and others. So in addition to those major job search sites, we also have niche job boards for social and behavioral sciences, education, and other related careers. So for example, if you're interested in um, teaching psychology courses. So if you're interested in teaching in higher ed, you may want to explore job boards related to higher education, such as higheredjobs.com, Inside Higher Ed, the Chronicle of Higher Education's Career Network, and others as well. These job posting sites are listed on our job and internship search page on our website. And they're also accessible through the career checklist in your resource handout as well. And I'll also add here that when you think of jobs in higher ed, so in addition to faculty positions, also think of leadership positions in other areas, such as student affairs, disability services, military services, um, service learning coordination, just to name just a few. So there are so many other leadership positions in higher ed where you're really highly competitive with your PhD as well. So next, let's say that after researching organizations, job listings, and people who work in your future role, you realize that you may need some additional experience to be competitive. So there are many ways that you can start to gain experience while you're still a student. If you're making a career transition, consider volunteering in a setting that interests you most. To determine this, think of your uh, PhD psychology specialization, and also think about your favorite organizations that you researched. Reach out to those organizations to inquire if they have volunteer opportunities that meet your interests. So, a few common settings to volunteer may include like community, social, and human service agencies such as the United Way, Red Cross, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, many others as well. Remember that there may be opportunities to use your doctoral level writing, research, and other types of skills behind the scenes at these organizations. Also consider educational institutions such as literacy and tutoring programs, community education centers, and health-related organizations such as hospitals, clinics, health and wellness centers. Um, and if you're currently employed, consider taking on leadership roles at work or building other types of skills that are valued in the psychology field, such as research, writing, analytical skills, and others as well. And then another effective way to gain experience is taking an active role in professional associations. For example, the American Psychological Association for Graduate Students, or APAGS, has an entire directory of student leadership positions and committees to choose from based on your interest area. Um, Active engagement in professional associations or organizations. It's a great way to build your leadership skills and contribute your knowledge to a professional community. Walden also offers a wide range of student organizations to join and to build leadership skills as well and impact social change, including the Psych Honor Society in Psychology, the National Society of Leadership and Success, and others as well. Another way to gain skills is to assist smaller independent business owners or consultants with projects. You would need to be proactive to land these type of opportunities by reaching out to your professional network. However, by offering to help others on research, writing, or other types of projects, this can help you apply your academic skills in a real world setting. And remember to add these experiences to your resume and your CV. So let's pause, and in the chat, do you have any other ideas or places where you could volunteer to gain experience? So if you could use the chat and let us know, I gave you a sampling of ideas here, but are there any others that you can think of? So go ahead and use the chat and type in your responses.
And as we're waiting for you to put in those responses, remember you can think of anything outside of education. So a couple of examples, maybe it's something that's churched or other faith-based organization. Maybe it's a
Yeah,
non-faith-based.
exactly. I mean, I've known some students who have from their dissertation and the results have offered to be a guest speaker in a college course, college psychology course, to share their dissertation, um, what they found through their dissertation. And that's something you can put on your resume and CV as well. And
Awesome.
we also have a list of 10 steps to gain experience through volunteer and employment opportunities for PhD in psychology programs in your resource handout as well. So, Kayla,
Now,
any ideas yet?
yes, I'm seeing cancer and rehabilitation centers.
Mm,
I see someone had the same thought I had with the faith-based organizations. These are awesome.
hmm That's great. Thank you so much for those ideas. And just keep, as you think of something, just put it in the chat. Um, And as you're researching organizations and you're gaining experience, you may want to start to apply for positions, and you may need to communicate your skills and qualifications with employers and other professionals in your field. So next, we're going to look at the skills first career management system that we have for you to create professional, polished resumes, CVs, and cover letters. So, Skills First is one of our department's signature offerings, and it is currently being used by thousands of Walden students and alumni. So, as a Walden student or alum, you can use Skills First to help you communicate your skills to employers and others by developing quality resumes, CVs, cover letters, and career portfolios. And the great news is that you don't need to build your materials from scratch. This system has over 600 templates you can choose from, including custom samples for psychology students. And the system also has an interview prep module and a pitch builder module to help you practice your interview skills. And also develop an introduction or elevator pitch to communicate your unique value and your brand. So you really get started using skills first. If you put your resume or CV in there, it does all that formatting for you. So you're not spending time trying to tweak the formatting to make it look really professional. The documents look really nice. And it also has a lot of flexibility. You can move sections around, you can change the titles of the sections. It's really an excellent system. So you can log into Skills First from the Career Planning and Development website using your Walden email and password. So you want to use your Walden login credentials. And it's also, there's a link on the resource handout that we have for you as well. And then there's also a link to it on the Resumes and More tab. And there is a guide to help you walk through step by step on how to use Skills First. And you can always reach out to us. I don't know how many times I've just walked students or alumni through using it. We're really open to say, oh, I need some help with Skills First. Can you help me? Yes, we can. Take advantage of us. For that. But there is a guide. So you can definitely, start with the guide. And if you get stuck, we're here to help you. So, and then Skills First also has 10 added artificial intelligence features that provide feedback and examples on how you can best communicate your doctoral level skills to employers and other professionals. So that is listed on the next slide. So one of the major advantages of building a resume in Skills First is gaining access to these AI features that can help you enhance your resume and match skills to the job description and so much more. You can take a job description, put it in the system, and Skills First will kind of give you some ideas in terms of, keywords, some things you can add to your resume. You always want to make sure that just because Skills First is telling you, though, you want to make sure that it really reflects who you are as a professional. Um, and it can help you prepare for upcoming interviews. It will also help you if you're on LinkedIn. It'll give you some ideas in terms of updating your LinkedIn profile. It's really, it's an excellent tool to help, and it can save you time. You're so busy, all these time-saving features we want to use as much as possible. But whenever it comes to AI, you always want to just make sure it's reflecting accurately who you are as a professional. And then next, as you develop your resume, refer to the resources on the Resumes and More tab for additional resume writing tools and tips. So as you update your resume and CV, focus on accomplishment statements rather than only a list of duties and responsibilities. You're at the doctoral level, you really want to showcase accomplishments and achievements. So to craft strong accomplishment statements, start with an action verb, include specific details and results. There are many examples of accomplishment statements in the sample resumes on the Resumes and More tab. And we have an archived webinar, Write a Winning Resume, that will walk you through the process of creating accomplishment statements. And there is a worksheet in your resource handout as well titled Communicate Skills and Competencies to help you. So also keep in mind that you can make a one-on-one appointment with a career advisor and to go over your resume, CV, or cover letter. We do this on a daily basis. We provide you with advice tailored to your unique career goals. So next, let's take a look at building your network. So this is step 6. So we previously talked about professional associations as places to build skills and experience, but professional associations are essentially a great place to expand your professional network. And you also may want to check to see if there's a state or regional chapter, so you can maybe do some possible face-to-face networking. Networking in terms of your career management, you really want to take some time and think about having a networking strategy. Networking is essentially building relationships, and it is often one of the most underestimated steps in career management, but it is so important. So by attending online and in-person events, such as webinars, meetings, conferences, and other offerings through professional associations, you have opportunities to connect with others in your professional community and build your network. Also, Walden student organizations are a great way to connect with others. There's a list of Walden student organizations in your resource handbook. And I know I've heard great stories from students who, they have connected in the chat during a webinar, and they have built relationships that have extended where they have offered each other opportunities that have been amazing. So it is amazing, as when I meet with students one-on-one, sometimes the stories that I hear are just, really phenomenal. It's just taking that initiative to reach out as well. So, and a great way to stay connected after professional events is to invite people you meet to connect with you on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the largest networking site. And think about this, with over 1 billion members, and it allows you to build and maintain meaningful connections. LinkedIn also offers groups that you can join based on your professional interests, where you can share and receive insights and knowledge. And as we mentioned before, also another way to to network is through volunteering in your community as well. That's a great avenue. We talked about it, volunteering in terms of gaining experience, maybe to fill in a few gaps, but it's also an excellent way to build your network as well. And you may also want to ask other professionals in your field for informational interviews to learn more about their career path, gain insights in areas of psychology, into areas in psychology that you might like to pursue. So just having those informational interviews, asking people about their career paths is also an excellent avenue. So next, I'd like to tell you about a new networking tool that's available through the Career Planning and Development website. So I am very excited to share that Walden recently launched Ask Alums, which is a networking platform where Walden students or grads can ask career-related questions and receive advice from the Walden alumni community. You can access the Ask Alums tool from the networking tab on the Career Planning and Development website. We also have a link on that resource handout for you as well. A few examples of the types of questions you might consider asking are, what professional development activities have helped you advance in your career in psychology? Or maybe, what advice do you have for someone who is entering the field of psychology without a lot of prior experience? And then after you submit your question, the Ask Alums platform then tries to match you with a Walden alum who is able and willing to respond. So whether you're a student or you have already graduated, we invite you to take a few minutes after the session and try out Ask Alums. Go in and ask a question maybe that you're thinking, an alum might be able to help you with. And we've gotten some really good feedback on this tool. So next, we're at the last step, which is prepare for interviews. So Career Planning and Development offers a wide variety of resources to help you prepare for interviews, including an interviews tab with a variety of resources. So a lot of what we've talked about up to this point, and really, getting you ready, and then for that, career moving forward. But then that interview, you really want to take time and prepare when you get that interview. Um, and also the Skills First platform has over 12,000 interview questions that you can use to practice your interview skills. And you can record your responses and receive tips on how you could have answered each question. We also provide helpful interview tips on the Career Planning and Development blog. Our blog has many great articles on interviewing and related topics. And we've had a number of students and alumni who've said that the Skills First platform in terms of practicing has really helped them, and some of them have contributed to the blog. I worked with one PhD in psychology student, and he would be fine with me sharing this. He reached out to us. He said, I'm getting interviews. My CV's working. I'm getting the interviews, but I'm not getting the final offer. And so we guided him in terms of, using this interview prep feature, and he practiced repeatedly. Very next interview, he got the offer. So, use these resources. They're really helpful. And then keep in mind, you can schedule a career advising appointment and select interviewing as your topic. And a career advisor can provide coaching on common interview questions. And then next, as you consider the 7 steps that we discussed, we also recommend developing a career advancement plan that's tailored to your unique career goals. So this table is a simple tool to help you start setting goals for yourself around the 7 steps that we discussed. And remember that your goals may change as you move through your Walden program and gain knowledge and skills along the way. We hope that the 7 steps we went over and the resource list in the handout offer you a roadmap for career success. we strongly encourage you to use the resource list and the link to the Psychology Career Hub. There's just a wealth of resources on that Psychology Career Hub to navigate your career. And if you'd find that you'd like additional support along the way, our department is here to coach you on any career-related topic. So let's go to the next slide and let's learn more about career advising. So you can schedule a 45-minute career advising appointment, up to 12 a year, directly from our website's homepage. And this is whether you're a current student or alum, you have access to these scheduling appointments. And you can reserve your appointment. Usually it's really a simple scheduling system, and you can reserve your appointment and you can choose from phone or Zoom. We can provide feedback on your documents like your resume, cover letter, CV. We also provide feedback on LinkedIn profiles. If you're looking to learn new strategies to expand your offline and online networking efforts, we can provide ideas for you with professionals and the Walden community, and helping you, advance and advance in your career. Uh, a lot of this is about, marketing yourself, which for psychology students, sometimes it's like, it's a little bit of a shift because you're so focused on others. You're so often focused on helping others that sometimes, taking that deep breath and thinking about marketing yourself and your own career advancement, it takes a minute to pause and think about that. So again, I'm so happy that you're all joining the session today, because that's what this is really geared for. And in one-on-one appointments, we can also work with you to identify professional development activities for career growth, for career advancement, and prepare for interviews, as I mentioned as well. And we also want to, I also want to mention that that since every one of you, you're unique and you have a unique career path. So we try to meet you where you're at in your career journey and offer feedback, advice, and resources to help you move closer to your career goals. So if you're just starting, if you're just starting out or making that career transition with your doctoral degree, or you have quite an extensive background in the area of psychology, either way, we will try to meet you with where you're at. And so next, let's take a look at another way to engage with us. The Career Planning and Development team also offers live events that we have posted on our website. We have monthly office hours where students come in and we kind of do a review of our website resources, and we offer advice and answer questions. We also have quarterly career skills webinars on various topics. And I want to point out that next week, Thursday, October 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a Walden alumni ambassador panel that will be discussing how to thrive as an independent consultant. So I hope some of you can make it to that. If you can't make it for the live event, know that it will be recorded and available on the homepage on the website as well. But I think I'm really looking forward to attending that and listening to Walden alum talk about their experience as independent consultants. So another way to engage with career planning development is through social media. We invite you to join us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Definitely read our blog articles. The blog is really one of those hidden gems on our website, and it features student success stories and career-related articles. It's on the website under Get Connected. It's the W for WordPress, but there are some amazing stories from Walden alumni on how they, advanced in their career. The most recent one is a student who found a job teaching in higher ed. He had worked with us through one-on-one appointments, and he did land a higher ed teaching position. So, but there are many others. There are some that are really great on alums who've used volunteering. There's one, a story about a Walden, either a student or alum who started a podcast and how she did that and really made an impact. So there's just really a wide variety of blog articles there. There is a wealth of information, but even more than the information, they're really inspiring. They're so, I look and read them and I get really excited. I love the blog. So next, we want to pause and take your questions. So do we have any questions?
Yes, we do. We have some great questions. And for those of you who have questions and we're getting to those, feel free to add those to the Q&A area and we'll be moving to those. All right. Our first question is, what are the best tools to connect with local job fairs that prefer local graduates over out-of-state graduates, or U.S. born over non-U.S. born in those careers?
Okay. I would, there are some sites that host job fairs. So what I would suggest would be just Googling job fairs in your area and see, because usually those events are held and they market those events. So, and also if you sign up for our, join our, career planning and development, our LinkedIn group, we also, when we hear about job fairs, will post them as well. So that's probably the best way. There are certain avenues. I know sometimes military services, there are certain organizations that will post jobs fairs specifically to those people who are military connected. There might be others. Typically K through 12, we often get notifications about a lot of job fairs for them. I would look in any of your community news organizations as well. For example, in my my school district, they posted job fairs in the community news bulletin as well. But I think a Google search, also using AI, use AI as well. Dr. Sickle, would you like to add anything to that?
There we go. I was just making sure everything was lined up. I trust you can hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, you have a lot of really good questions about this. So I didn't have anything to add to that particular one, but there's some other interesting questions to cover here.
Okay. Okay, great.
Let's see. Well, Kayla, did you want to continue in the order you were doing? I don't want to mess up with your pattern.
No, whatever you're doing works well, because I'm sure you have more information than I do.
Okay, all right, good. Just checking. All right, let's see. I'm going to just go back to the Q&A section. Sarah had a great question. She said, how to get hands-on experience in consultancy in the field of psychology?
Okay, so if definitely attend that webinar next week for sure. And if you can't, make sure you watch it. So, I would make a one-on-one appointment with us, because when you're thinking of becoming a consultant, you really need to think about how you're going to market yourself to clients. You need to be able to articulate that area of expertise you have within the field of psychology, because it's so broad.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to really say, these are the kind of problems I can help you solve. So people hire consultants and they pay quite a bit, but that's typically because they have a problem or an issue that they want help with. So you need to be able to convince them that you're going to be able to help them with that. You can market yourself through LinkedIn. There are also some other organizations in terms of consulting, but definitely make a one-on-one appointment, because we can help you drill down, into that marketing, your expertise. So someone is like, oh, you're going to be able to help us with this. You're the person we've been looking for. That's what you want them to say.
And I agree completely. And I think a good way to think about that is you need to be aware of whatever the skills are that the different kind of consultants have. So, for example, some individuals act as consultants and do program evaluation. That's a course that students in our curriculum take. So you're going to want to be familiar with what kind of skills are needed in the areas that you want to work at. And there can be differences, right? And there can also be, for example, coaching, which is sort of another piece that can be done with consulting. And that's a little bit in a different offshoot. So I think one thing that might help you is to see if do you know anybody? A question I often ask students when we talk about things like this: do you know anybody who has a job that you really like as a consultant? What do they do? What is their area? And that can help you start thinking a little bit about, where it is you want to go. But it's really the combination of thinking about the courses you've had and the skills you've learned so far and what you see out there. So, and I couldn't agree more with learning how to market yourself. That's essential these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great.
Let's see. Sarah asked another question. She said, I'm just going down in order here, are there internships or supporting roles? I'm not sure if I know what that means with internships.
Yeah. You can definitely look for internships. It would not be like a clinical type of internship, but we have some resources on the website. Sometimes you can go, when you research organizations, you can go to their websites and look to see if they might have an internship available. Some corporations do, some organizations offer internships that are not like a supervised clinical type of internship, but definitely would possibly give you some experience. Also, watch for Walden graduate assistantships as well.
Yeah. I remember when I was in graduate school, I found a research an internship at a research institution. So there are certainly things like that.
Yeah, great example.
Yeah. And if you have any kind of schools or universities in your area, always look there for the opportunity, if it's even teaching or anything like that, because a lot of places locally, may have interest for individuals who are at master's level, depending upon what it is, that they're meeting. So, and then Cynthia added resources to find fellowships. ?
Oh, right. Yes, we do. We do have resources for fellowships. Let me tell you where it is, and I don't think that is on the resource list. I don't remember. I'm going to tell you where it is, though. Just one second. We have it, and let me see here.
And while you're looking at that one, for that one, Denise, another place that you can look for information like that are some of those student organizations that Denise mentioned earlier, like APAGS, the APA Graduate Student Association, and even the regional APA student associations like Eastern Association and all of Eastern Psychological Association, things like that. For health psych, I saw that Sarah was interested in health psych related opportunities, things like Society of Behavioral Medicine and things like that. So there are a lot of those pieces, those kind of smaller groups that do offer different kinds of opportunities as well. So it's something worth looking into.
Yeah, that's a great question. I just put a resource in the chat.
Thank you. All right, we have another question from Dalvis. Do students in the health psychology path need to sit for a board or any type of test to be able to be a consultant for patients? No, although our program is not a licensed health psychology program. You probably need to check with your state in terms of what issues and what requirements are there. I'm unaware of any states. I'm in Maryland. I'm not aware of states that are, at least in our area, that require that for health psychology. But but it's certainly possible. So you have to check your own states. So let's see what else we have. Thanks, Dalvis. That's a good question. I'm glad you guys are thinking about things like this. I'm checking the chat because it looked like there were some questions in there. Did we get them all, Kayla?
Yes, we did. I moved them over to the Q&A, but I think you had one before that we did answer, but I just think it would be great to reiterate. One of them is from Teresa, and she asked, is there a webinar that provides LinkedIn help?
Thank you.
It's great to reiterate that one.
Yeah,
Yes.
I said that I thought that we must, but that Denise, I was going to pawn that question off on you because I didn't know for certain.
We do. We have on the Career Planning and Development website, if you click on the networking tab, it's right at the top. We have a webinar on launching with LinkedIn, and that's a really good starting point. But keep in mind, you can also make a one-on-one appointment, and we do review LinkedIn profiles. We'll give you some feedback.
Yes. I try to get our students to go and have one-on-one appointments with you. It is such an underutilized resource, in my opinion.
And we're so nice. We're so excited. Every time I meet with a student, I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you scheduled. Because we can really drill down, and everyone on this session today, you're all unique. So we went over a lot of resources that are fantastic, but then a lot of times it just comes down to you as that unique professional and, and really having that conversation. And we love to do that. I mean, and I've worked with so many PhD in psychology students, and it's just amazing what they go on to do.
There's a tremendous range. Yeah.
Yes, it's amazing. It is amazing.
You guys provide truly a wealth of information. And let me remind all of you students who are PhD psychology students in our program, please don't hesitate to reach out either to Dr. John Agnew or myself. We love meeting with students and talking about things like this because we can talk about it from our own experiences and just from other pieces of information, because what you're saying, Denise, is entirely true. Each of you is very unique. Where you live has its own unique opportunities there. And sometimes you kind of just have to sit and tease through a lot of that to help you get to your next place. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes students are relocating, and that brings along some additional challenges if that's the case. And sometimes it can bring some great things by relocating, but you don't need to feel like you're facing this alone. We're here to help you as much as we possibly can.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Been such a help. Appreciate it, Denise.
It's been my pleasure. So any more questions? We're a little bit over, so I just want to thank everyone for staying with us as we went over the hour a little bit here. But I think, did we address the questions?
I think we got them all. What do you think, Kayla? Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yay.
Okay, I think we can maybe go to the next slide. And I want to just remind you we're here to support you, as I just said. And I want to thank Dr. Amy Sickle and Dr. John Agnew and Kayla Willis from the Office of Academic Affairs for organizing the session. And thank you so much for inviting me to present. And I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Sickle to wrap up the session.
There we go. It'll be very easy. Thank you, everyone. And don't hesitate to reach out. We are always here to help and to help you step through things for your career. We love doing it. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, Kayla.
Have a great night, everyone.